Testing. Say something.
Yo.
All
Pick me up.
Yep.
Nice.
We're live on the mic.
Perfect.
All right. Are you ready?
How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Okay. Welcome back to the 5th episode of the podcast. And I am Andy Ramdeen, as always. You can find me on Andy Ramdeen Official.
And I'm Eric Vastag, and you can find me at Eric Vastag.
There you go. So, a lot of you may be asking, where is Potch right now? He is actually getting ready for his trip and running around the 6 right now with his wolves.
Lucky one, that one.
So I've replaced him with a white person.
Yes.
The time has come. We have upgraded in that sense. So you two can upgrade in just 5 episodes. But yeah, Eric and I actually work together at Tip Top Tailors, which is now RIP in Orangeville. So...
Jobless.
Well, some of us.
Just that job.
Yeah, just that. But we are actually out of a job right now, so that is what's up. I'm actually going to be taking a couple weeks off and going on vacation all over the place, different places. But you'll all see those adventures eventually. What about you? What are you planning on doing?
I'm probably getting into some private investigations, to be honest.
Really?
Yeah.
There you go. So be on the lookout.
Yeah. I might be telling you sometime soon.
Yep. But yeah, no, I just wanted to change things up a little bit today. Eric and I have known each other a little bit before that as well. I actually met one of his friends in Thailand around this same time, actually last year.
Yeah.
That's actually really weird.
Pretty funny story, actually, too. But...
Yeah, I couldn't believe that they're actually from the same town, but it turns out they were.
Coincidentally.
But yeah, that was actually a really, really fun trip. It was good.
Yeah.
Times, certain parts, but you'll see more of that later on in the video I'm going to drop this week to basically introduce the channel and whatnot. But that's basically all that's new in my life.
Sweet. How's the relationships doing? Any long distance relationships going on?
I don't have any long, actually, I don't know. It's a weird thing, a long distance relationship, you know. Have you ever been in a long distance relationship?
Yeah, I've been in one. It was probably about, what do you term long distance?
Overseas.
Overseas? I mean,
you know what? Actually, let's limit that.
Right? It's interesting because I was, what is it, 500 kilometers, I guess?
Okay, I was gonna say let's limit it to at least minimum 12 hours. At least 12 hours away. Because that's...
Yeah, I've never really been at 12-hour... Yeah, no, not really officially a 12-hour long-distance relationship. There was at a point where I was in a relationship overseas, and then I got injured, had to come back home, and we were... it almost seemed like we still wanted to be together.
So that was a relationship that turned into a long-distance relationship.
Sort of, but then obviously you have to be realistic, and, sometimes you can't pursue long-distance for certain reasons. So
what was it that kind of did it?
Well, for me, it was health. And, it was so hard to see them while I needed to get surgery and stuff like that. So, other things built on top of it too, right? So the health was the main thing. And then, just expenses. There's no way that she's going to come to me when I can't really do too much. And even what I can do is limited. Yeah. So, But
do you feel like it could actually work though? Given, let's say your injury got better and financially you guys were able to.
See, long distance is a very interesting thing. I think it's possible that it can work. I believe it's very situational. But depending on the right person and depending on how long you've been with that person for, I think you can do it. And now for me, that relationship was pretty on the new.
Yeah. So
as much as I did like her and want to be with her, you gotta just, you gotta take a step back and realize that there's always new opportunities, and you never know, maybe time tells a different tale later on.
Yeah.
So maybe you run into each other later on, right? So
see, I have the issue more along the lines of trust, and maybe not necessarily the other person, but maybe, let's say for the sake of the argument, me, for example, I'm seeing somebody like in England or overseas or something like that. And let's just say I'm committed to that person, but because they're not technically nearby or anything like that, is it wrong for me to kind of pursue other things that are closer?
I don't know. Again, it's a
This is
personal
hypothetical, by the
personal thing. However, if you're in a very serious relationship with that person,
way. Yeah.
and you plan to continue being in a very serious relationship with that person,
Yeah.
then I would say no. But if you think that it's a great relationship, it's healthy, but it might not, because of the distance or because of other reasons, something might change,
Yeah.
then there should be no reason why you might still. But you got to be open about it, right?
No, I definitely think that's the big thing. And
'Cause
like
if
trust
you're
in
saying
general.
trust, then she's gonna be trusting that either you're telling her the truth all the time, that you're not with somebody else, or that you're telling her that you are gonna be seeing other people, so that she can as well, right?
Okay, but what about the flip now? What if she is seeing somebody else, but still making it seem as if there's something?
I don't know.
See, because again, that goes with trust, right?
If you think that there's gonna be a time where you're gonna go back to England, then why not continue that relationship still?
Yeah.
Although you have to realize that maybe they lose feelings for you and then go for that other person, right?
Yeah. I kind of feel like it can work within the parameters of the fact that because you guys, and again, this is financially speaking as well, if you guys can see each other, right? Maybe it won't be as frequent as you would like, especially if it's something like overseas, for example. But I feel like maybe if you allow the other person to see other people and whatnot, but you guys still have the understanding that like, okay, there may be something there, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's okay, because I feel like...
Are they allowed to be intimate with the other person?
I mean, yeah, because again, you can't really stop life from happening, right? And to be like, okay, I'm across the world right now, I'm halfway on the other side of the planet, and we are talking and we have a good connection and all this stuff, but you can't have sex with somebody or you can't go out on dates and stuff like that. I feel like that's completely unfair. And with me, like, again, this one is for real. Like, if I was put in that situation, I would probably still be seeing other people, but I would make it very, very clear to the person overseas that this is what's going on.
Yeah.
And like, I do have feelings for you, but it's just, I got to live my life too, right?
Right. So then you're almost saying then you should be cutting ties with that relationship?
Not
Not
necessarily.
necessarily cutting ties, but you're saying that they should know that you're going to be pursuing other relationships
Yeah,
as
but
well.
at the same time, like, if I do not see myself going to see that person ever
Right.
in my life, then I'm not going to put a restriction like that
Sure.
or whatever,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
of
Like,
course.
not necessarily a restriction, but I'm not going to be like, no, like,
Yeah.
you can't see people, right? Like, that's wrong. And even for myself, too, like, I cannot be in a relationship here with somebody who's halfway across the world
Right.
and feel good about that. Like,
Right.
I just feel like that's not a real thing. It's like
I think
high
it's just-
school.
like if you plan, so say you were with that person for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and you're already thinking future, and that person's going to be your someone special, but just unfortunately, you're just back at home where you're from and where she's there for the year, but you guys are planning to move in and get back together and whatnot.
And this is
Then-
assuming you guys were dating before.
This is assuming you're dating before.
Okay.
Then, I would say that you wouldn't want to ruin that, right? You wouldn't want to pursue something else.
But that's a different situation altogether, though. That's a previous relationship turning into a long distance relationship, right? And with that, that's a completely different, I guess.
So you just mean a long distance relationship in general, then?
Yeah, like, okay, let's say this is a situation.
You're meeting a person online, or you're meeting a
Well,
person?
let's say you went on a vacation and you met somebody, right? And let's just say a couple months later, you guys end up talking or whatever, social media shit or whatever, and you shoot the shit and you feel like there's some sort of connection there or whatever. So you guys start talking.
Right.
And let's say you guys arrange like a trip or something like that, and you guys go to meet up and everything, right? You get there, you see how things are, and let's assume they go absolutely amazing, and it's like, this is the person you're supposed to be with, right?
Right.
I feel like if that is how your body tells you, like, that is who you need to be with,
Yeah.
everything after that point will get you to go back to that person to make that happen. Otherwise, was it really a real thing?
No. But then it's not really a long distance relationship either.
But it can be, though, because in between those times from when you saw that person versus when you came back to see that person after the time in between there, you're talking from the other side of the world, for example, right? So that's what makes it into somewhat of a long distance relationship. And even that too, is that technically a relationship then?
I mean, it's a
If you
relationship.
just-
It's not. I don't know if it's really like you're really dating the person.
Yeah. I guess it's like a sub-relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's more of a.
Because I guess that's the other thing too. I guess a legit long-distance relationship would be like you guys were together and then you broke up, or you didn't break
You
up.
had to
you guys
separate
part
due to
ways.
due to timing or job or,
Yeah.
or something like that, right?
See, and even with that too, like I feel like if that happens, it's not going to be like, oh well, we're done now and everything like that. If you guys were together to the point where you were living and everything was going that well, where something like a job came up and you find that that's a problem, then again, I think you need to question how serious that relationship
Exactly,
was.
of course.
Right?
And yeah, just come and sure, there might not be an issue with perhaps you being open with other relationships and stuff like that. And maybe whenever you guys just get together, you have that great connection and you're always just together and it feels normal again. And you just kind of avoid the rest of the times when you're apart, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes that happens too with just how busy people are. If they're just doing work and stuff like that, they can't keep up with the relationships right all the time.
That's true.
But whenever you're together, it's like when you see an old friend that you haven't seen in 3 years or 4 years.
Yeah.
It's like you just seen them the other day though when you're talking about the exact same
That's true.
stuff, right?
That's true. It's a relationship regardless.
Yeah, and it's a relationship regardless.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
it's almost like when you run into those girls that you've never had anything bad with. And you hadn't seen them in so long, but then you run into them again, and
then things happen.
Yeah, things happen, but you just have a great time every time, right?
I have a funny story about that.
But like you don't really pursue them in
yeah.
the kind of relationship kind of.
See, I kind of pulled an asshole move with that one.
Yeah.
Okay. There was this girl a long, long time ago before I had facial hair or my hair was white or even thought about dyeing my hair or anything. Right. This was like grade 3.
Right.
This girl, I don't know why.
You're a perv.
A little bit of a perv. I'm grade 3 and I go up to her and ask her for a kiss.
Yeah.
And she fucking flips her shit.
Right.
Right? So I thought she was like the hottest girl ever or whatever. This is grade 3. This just shows you where my head is at. So grade 3 happens or whatever and like, yeah, she flips out, goes fucking berserk and all this shit or whatever. Never see her again, right?
Right.
So fast forward till about, I want to say like 6-7 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a manager in a mall at a Spencer's Gifts. And one of my regular customers walks over to me and he's just like, your name's Andy Ramdeen, right? And I was like, yeah. He's just like, did you go to a school called Forest Avenue? Or sorry, not Forest Avenue, Plowman's. And I was just like, yeah. He starts laughing. So I'm like, what the fuck are you laughing about, right? Like, do you remember a girl named Serena? Not this moment. I pause, and everything flashes back to that second, and it's like the voices are going around. Oh my god, he asked me to kiss him. Ew, blah 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 blah. And I'm just fucking like, yeah, I do remember that fucking girl.
Yeah,
Why?
yeah,
What's
yeah.
up? He's like, well, it's a funny story. She actually works in the mall. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Like, she works right down from you. I was like, all right. Like, she's been seeing you every day, and she didn't know if it was you or not. But now that it's you, you need to go over there and you need to go and talk to her. So I'm thinking about it. I was like, okay, well, do I go and just like say anything or anything like that? Or do I, great. Anyways, back to what I was saying.
Yeah.
So I go and I see Serena, and basically she sees me, stands up, and she's like, Andy? I'm like, Serena? She's like, oh my god, you grew up. It's like, yep, that's kind of what happens when you get older, right? And she looked at me, she's like, no, like, you grew up, like, you look good. And I was like, okay, that's cool. What's your number? So I got her phone number, and she starts hitting me up all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And every single time that she hits me up, she's just like, yeah, like, can we go out and hang out and stuff like that? And I'm just like, no, I don't want to hang out with you. So, yeah, it's funny how things happen like that, because years later, I turn into somebody who's hot shit, apparently, for her, and, yeah, now she wants me. Mike Jones!
Grade 3 versus 20 years old.
Shit happens. Sorry. Now I'm doing a podcast and what? Getting interrupted by my mom. Oh well.
Hey, shit happens.
It is what it is, right?
What can you do?
But yeah, I don't know. Long distance relationships are a weird one. For sure.
Yeah, they can It's just tricky, right? It's it's not for everybody for sure.
Some people make it work. I don't.
Some people can make it. Some people can make it work really easily.
That's
Some people are more adaptable, I guess, than others.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to relationships, or they just have so much trust with people, or they're just so busy that they aren't thinking about that person all the time, right? So they're not worried as much, and so.
I mean, when you really think about it, there's not really a lot of stress that goes with that either.
With long distance?
Yeah.
Not really. Other than just keeping up with a conversation every now and then, just as long as you're not too needy and sex isn't that big of an issue unless you're in an open relationship where you can do that kind of stuff, right?
And again, too, like, some people may just need that, like, that knowing that somebody is there.
Yeah.
And that's enough to get them by, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess that could be it, too.
Yeah,
Speaking of messed up relationships, did you hear about this Cardi B situation?
I did hear about the Cardi B drama going on there.
Woo! Cardi.
Everybody's got a past, right?
Jeez.
She's going, for those of you who haven't seen the video of Cardi B, she kind of goes on a little bit of a rant about her past.
A little bit of a rant.
Before she had all her wealth and fame, she used to be a prostitute and
stripper as well.
Stripper and
professional dancer. I don't know about Cardi B, but professional dancer.
Yeah, my apologies. We can definitely, we can be a little more politically correct. But so obviously she was saying some provocative issues.
Long story short, Miss Cardi B claims that she used to, and this is all what she said, she used to drug and rape men, or was it just drugging? I guess kind of.
I won't go as far as say raping, but I'm not too sure.
We don't really know what she did.
The drugging, she definitely did say the drugging. She definitely did say robbing.
She would drug and rob male Johns.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's messed up in the sense that she's not. I mean, I don't know if anything has happened with it yet, but she hasn't really been.
Well, there hasn't been any charges.
She hasn't been charged or anything.
No investigation. Well, I mean, maybe there's an investigation going on. You never know.
Yeah.
But nothing that's like public knowledge, right? So.
And that's the messed up thing when you think about it, because you have a whole bunch of other people, and I'm not saying anybody is right for doing this, so please get that shit out of your head.
Yeah.
We don't condone that shit here.
Not at all.
As a matter of fact, if we find out that you're doing it, we come into your ass and we banging you out. So sorry, but no. Point is,
she said she was doing it for survival, right? Like trying to get by and
for survival. But again, like when you're in those situations, like you don't have just $5-10 on you. You have a lot of money on you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, generally speaking, men aren't going to be carrying around just $50 when they're spending an hour or two with a lady,
and just judging by her lifestyle and the fact that, let's just say, $200 to $400 on a person or whatever when she robs them, that's not necessarily
survival.
That's not survival money. Yeah. So I don't know. It's a messed up thing in the sense of that, but like,
it's even more messed up in the fact that she, there's so many sides of the story, and yet if it was a man that was doing it, all of a sudden the amount of backlash that would be happening would be completely different. Well, right?
Point in case, Bill Cosby, he's in jail.
Yeah.
And he's an older gentleman.
For cases that were
30 plus years ago.
Yeah, not trying to defend Bill Cosby at all, but
like Dave Chappelle said, he rapes and drugs, but he does a lot for the community. So
he does a lot for the community.
Yeah, but no, in all
charitable
honesty,
man,
charitable man, but fucked up man at the same time. But with that being said, the fact is, he got charged. He went to jail. I don't know if he's still in jail. Is he still in jail?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still in jail for that. And Cardi B is openly talking about this stuff. And again, whether you did it for this, you know what? Here's an argument. You have people who get involved with gangs, and they say straight up, for their survival, they have to go out and bang somebody out or shoot somebody or whatever. That's a survival situation. They still go and do it, and what happens? They end up in jail for it.
Yeah.
What's the difference with this?
Yeah.
You're literally admitting to doing the stuff
Criminal
that you did.
stuff just to get by.
And you're getting away with it.
Yeah.
And
now, of course, unless you're just going to the grocery store and robbing a loaf of bread, which there are some parents that do that.
and
That's
that's
a little bit more of a survival kind of
that
story.
is making a living again. And I brought this point up earlier to Eric as well with this, but it's a very, very far extreme. But here's the case too: you're doing that shit anyways, so it kind of relates. Survival is something that you need in order to keep you alive. Money is not necessarily something that you need to keep you alive. And yes, $400 is a lot of money, and that's not what she used to rob all the time, and like that was her thing.
And we don't know exactly what she
We don't know
robbed
how
every
much
time.
she used to rob.
Yeah.
It could have been literally $10 or
Who
whatever.
knows?
But
Who knows? But
the fact is she used to do it constantly.
yeah, at least that's what she admits to, and then look at the lifestyle she's got now and what she probably was wanting to achieve when she was back then, right? So
And here's the other thing too. When she was doing that, she's literally admitting to prostitution. So you have a couple of things on your record right there for that shit.
yeah. Although not that I'm gonna hold a woman against what she wants to do with her body, because I believe that prostitution is a crimeless act, right? Essentially.
I feel like there's ways to go about it to get money though. Like I don't feel like you need to go to that degree. I feel like you should treat yourself with a little bit more respect like that. And again, if things are really that hard, I'm sorry, but there's people
To
in
each their own,
McDonald's.
no? To each their
No,
own.
but that's completely true. And I'm not saying anything like this, but
Just like it's like long distance relationship.
yeah, it's just a little bit lazy in my eyes. Like, it really doesn't take that much effort to get a job anywhere. It really doesn't. You have to just write out a couple pieces of information. And sure, if there's some situations where like you don't have some of that information or whatever, it's a little bit harder. But the reality is, if you really want to make a living for yourself, you'll go out and do those things to get it properly. You basically prostituting yourself for money is a really lazy way of making money, and it's not fair to yourself at all.
There could possibly be some women that enjoy the business.
No, for sure. And I mean, here's the thing too, people don't realize this as well. The escort business itself isn't primarily a sex business. The escort business, and I've talked to a lot of escorts, I have a lot of escort friends, but that whole thing isn't necessarily for sex. It's more for the company and the enjoyment of a person.
Yeah, because you can hire them for a week away vacation. And
Exactly,
stuff like that,
and
right? So,
a lot of the times that's the situation that happens. It's called a girlfriend experience, right? And they do that stuff, and some fucking guys pay good money for that shit, right? And that kind of shit, by all means, that's a sugar daddy. Do your thing, yo. If there's any sugar mamas out there, I'm single. Do it up. I will make you happy. But yeah, I'm just saying though, like, there's other ways to making money that you don't need to go to those routes. And like, the fact that she says that she was doing it for survival, I think that's bullshit.
yeah. It's definitely it's a far stretch from what she's trying to make it everyone perceive it as, I believe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very interesting.
It is it's a weird one.
And she's an interesting character, that one as well. Everybody's got their own view on
She's a funny one.
Cardi B.
Cardi B. But yeah, I don't know. The whole double standards with rape, especially in this society, it's really messed up. It's really messed up. And the bottom line is here too, none of these men that have been raped or anything like that or taken advantage of by Cardi B, again, disclaimer, we don't really know what actually happened, but none of them have come out.
So far, there's no men that are out or going against what she's saying and trying to press charges or anything like that, right? So, and
again too, with that being said, whether it's a black guy or a white guy or whatever, the fact is, it's a guy getting taken advantage of by a prostitute, stripper, any of those things or whatever, escort or anything like that. They're not necessarily feeling comfortable to come out and be like, yo, I got robbed by this person, or they feel like they're going to get backlash from their community for it, right? Yeah. And that's what's really messed up about it, because again, I'm not saying that he's in the right for doing this or anything like that, But the whole Bill Cosby situation, there's a whole Me Too movement now because of that whole situation, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, there's nothing like that really in terms of males. Terry Crews came out and said that shit happened. And for Terry Crews to come out and say that,
people just laughed at him though, too.
And that's fucked up because, again, I commend him 100% for doing that.
Yeah.
And the fact that he did that, that is amazing.
Yeah.
You have like one of the fucking most jacked people in like show business.
Plus, just like great character on most
Amazing.
on most of his acting roles, right?
Hilarious.
So,
Yo, Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
yeah,
Bro.
great show.
Amazing show. And again, you would never think that would happen because he's a big fucking huge guy like that. But
yeah. Well, and the double standard is just, you can easily see it in when that situation is applied too, right? It's crazy.
And
how,
people still give him shit for coming out in the Me Too movie. He's a strong supporter of it.
And just switch the rules with Cardi B, make it a guy saying all this stuff, and imagine the backlash.
Straight to jail.
Yeah, the first guy, just talk about sexual assault.
Yeah.
And then the lady that you did it to is just gonna be like, that was me, and then I'm sorry, cops are gonna be at your door, banging on the front door.
That's it. And again, like, all it takes is one person to come out and say something, and everybody starts going, right?
Exactly. So.
Like, what if we find out in like fucking 30 years from now, Cardi B's been raping people on the low for like every fucking day, you know? Like, and then what happens?
The new MJ?
You know? I like MJ. I like MJ.
Nothing's been proven yet. We don't know. Nothing. I like MJ too. MJ's a great guy.
But no, it is a really fucked up thing when you really actually break it down and think about it. So, double standards in society, there's so many of them.
Yeah.
So many of them. And
yeah, it makes you have to question everything. You know? It just makes you want to think about every situation. Of course, it's almost like she's bragging about it, even though I think she says how she's not bragging about it. But
yeah, and she's the kind of person where I feel like she would, though. That's the thing. Like, the whole, what was it? That whole fight with her and Nicki Minaj or whatever?
Yeah.
Bro, she was wilding for that shit too, about how she hit her and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Take a chill pill, one.
Yeah, like, you have a kid, and that's the other thing too. You just had a fucking kid. Like, chill the fuck out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Cardi B, do your thing, yo. If you ain't getting caught yet, that's
like everybody do what makes you happy. But,
do what makes you happy, but to a legal extent.
A legal extent, of course.
Very
There's legal
legal
limits.
extent.
There's legal limits for what people should be trying to accomplish out there. So.
Yeah. And again, too, another thing too, like, this is for anybody out there too. If anybody, male, female, anything like that, has been taken advantage of, and you feel like you just can't talk to anybody, or you feel like it's not right for you to talk about it, you should 100% be talking to somebody about it. And don't hold that shit in. That'll seriously fuck you up. But definitely talk about it, because again, like, you need to break down these stereotypes and these double standards in society, and the only way that we can do it is by doing it.
Yeah.
So
communicating
is key. Always remember that, people.
There's always people out there willing to talk to as well.
Always, no matter what. There's a reason why I publicly post my Instagram and it's not private. Feel free to message me at any time. That is the reason why I do this stuff. But again, if you guys had any intake or outlooks on anything that we talked about today, you can.
If you have any views on long distance or have any stories of long distance relationships you guys want to share, please send them in.
Yeah, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah.
But until then, I've been nursing this beer, so I'm going to finish this at some point. And Eric, I want to say thank you. He's been sick all episodes, so
been dying.
We kind of had other plans for tonight's episode, but that'll happen eventually. I'll make jokes about it in the next one. We'll make inside jokes, just us will know.
Yeah. Keep everybody in the loop when the next one's coming.
Yeah. But yeah. I would love to have you back here again, actually.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much for having me on.
Thank you, man. So I'm gonna leave you guys with something like I always say, basically. Someone will only know as much about you as you let them know. So remember that. Until next time, this has been the CasT. I'm Andy Ramdeen.
Take her easy, folks.
Have a good one. Peace.